Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew 2 Hotshots. Noob. Summit number 11, I think it is. Meanwhile, the American way. That's what we are going to do here. But first things first. We have been grinding a little bit last week, at least. If you were smart enough to do that, with the anniversary week, we were all trying to get some live reward boxes. But of course, now we have all these parts, and the result of that is we're gonna need some money because we need to recalibrate those things. But there was a maintenance this morning. Let's talk about that for a brief second. The recalibration price has been tweaked a little bit. Spare parts, the price for spare parts will go up 3.125 times. Bucks will be 60% off from the original price. That means that normally the maximum price for recalibration was 40,000. They already changed it once, minus 20% with the maximum price of 32,000. Now they have changed it in such a way that it will be 60% cheaper from the original price, which means the maximum prices for recalibration will be 16,413 bucks and 1,338 spare parts. That has to do with the reduction on the bucks, but also with the increase on the spare parts. Scrapping those spare parts will also give 20% less. So instead of 120 for a green part, you're going to get 100. Instead of 240 for a blue part, you're going to get 200, and so on. And a yellow part will give you 1,000 scrap parts instead of 1,200 that we were getting now. Ace mode also has been tweaked a little bit in such a way that there's a 5% more chance that you will get a yellow part and a 5% less chance you will get a purple part. So also that has been tweaked a little bit if you do events in Ace mode. Yeah, 5% of course, that means that 1 times out of 20 you're gonna get a yellow part, where before you will getting a purple part. It's more or less what it comes down to. And the lucky affix had got some tweaking as well, because it not always did what it was supposed to do. They have been looking into that after a test by Don B, I think, who did like 400 races to come up with some sort of results on that lucky affix. They have been tweaked a little bit, and so it should work better now to give you a better part. That's the idea, after all, of the lucky affix. Next to that, of course, they have taken out the boxes that were available there with boosted parts and such. They have put the normal life rewards back in the map and stuff like that. That has been tweaked this morning with the maintenance. For us players, especially those who have been grinding last week for all of these parts, of course, most important thing is the recalibration price. Although it was 20% off, it was still too expensive, as we know, and yeah, that is what it is. So that is kind of important, but I didn't see any information about it, at least not from official side. So I thought I will give you a little bit of insight of what exactly happened this morning. In general, it comes down to that you're gonna have to pay less bucks for recalibration, and you're gonna get a little bit less spare parts if you scrap, and you need to pay a little bit more spare parts. Summit, let's go. The American Way bundle is available. Let's have a look. There are 3 cars in there: a Chevrolet Camaro SS Drift Edition, the Ford GT Hypercar, and the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Those things are available in a bundle in case you need one. But yeah, I have been grinding. For those who also follow me on Twitch, basically have been streaming every day in the last couple of days, because we streamed everything that we did on this summit nope. Because yeah, we're not really a nope anymore now, in such a way that we have found yellow parts for every single discipline. And not only did we find yellow parts, we found every single one of them in such a way. We have a 1 or 2 nitrochemist sets in each of the disciplines. We have a score breaker in each of the disciplines. We have a loo digger set in each of the disciplines. And the same goes for the flame magnet set and the live reward sniffer set. 5 different set bonuses, 7 parts in each discipline, 16 disciplines, 560 yellow parts we have obtained last week. Hello Victor. So that is sort of, yeah, a bit of a longer intro because this morning's maintenance was kind of important. I'm not going to buy this bundle because I sort of prepared in yesterday's stream. We did the preparation. Of course, we need to collect whatever happened last week. We finished 42nd with this driver with a score of 1.291. Now, of course, this is also something. People have been grinding last week. That also means that more and more people have yellow parts. More and more people will have score breakers with skill on. More and more people will have nitro chemist sets with pure on. So I think you can only expect, kind of normally, that scores will go up here. Especially these premium summits where you can win a vehicle, you can expect the scores to go higher up than they were before, because more people have better parts. Which is, in my opinion, a good thing, because the summit is a competition format. It should be competitive. It should not be like, oh yeah, there's like 10% of the players have like all the yellow parts and the other 90% are up against those people. It will be more balanced out. Those who put in the time and the effort last week to get their yellow parts will have an advantage. But you could get it at least this time. 150,000 followers, some yellow tire, a legendary parts boosted. Yeah, those boosted parts here for Alpha GP is a score breaker set with drag bump and shifty. Yeah. In general, these boosted parts sets that we win, or even the fame, or whatever complete set that we win sometimes, they are pretty good. About this one, I'm not so sure. A score breaker, it does not have skills, then in my opinion it's already a bad part. Drag bump and shifty, I don't know if any of you guys use that, but I think not many of us do. So this set here, and we only get 3 parts. In 2 weeks, with the Red Bull Spirit, I think it is, or with Past and Present, we will win the remaining parts. But let's just collect them and see what it's all about. And of course, we also won the Cayman GT4 Wasp Edition. This week parts, same story, 150,000 followers, which is usually what you get for a bronze medal. Unless it's a premium summit, then sometimes it's 200,000 followers. But is there anybody that cares about these followers? Once you're above icon 1000, I don't think so, because it only has to do with leveling up. And the highest thing that you can get from the timeline is the carbon edition. So that doesn't work. The outer red tire, and this is these are not boosted parts, these are just maxed out parts, but it's a complete set. So we have all 7 here. Flame magnet with followers and bugs, which is basically the perfect setup for a flame magnet set. That probably means that the followers will be 6% maximum and the rich 3% maximum. That's the highest you can get. You don't need to recalibrate. That is like the perfect set in a way. But then again, who cares about level? So also this, it's a pretty good set. If you're a new player and you don't have icon 1000 yet, it's a pretty good set. You can do all kind of stunts with your plane, or drive around or drift around in free roam with one of these sets on, and you will get quite some followers from that. Go back out of the summit, obviously, because we're gonna have to collect this thing. Okay, although we did not show visually the fact that we have parts, we do have parts. Weird. Okay, of course we're gonna have a look what kind of parts they are and what do have we won extra. Of course we have won this thing here. We had the Cayman GT4, performance wise I don't expect them to much difference. I think it's just a special livery thing. Maybe some extra bumpers, some carbon I see on these bumpers. Maybe it's not available on the normal one. I haven't checked that. But yeah, it sort of looks like a Wasp. That's where the Wasp edition comes from. Next week or the week after that, new summits will be loaded into the system for the upcoming weeks and months. That also means new cars will be loaded there as well. New cars or special editions, stuff like that. Alpha GP it was, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I'm going to put these parts on here to make sure that I just don't throw them away. Now let's see what these have. As you can see, we get a gearbox, an exhaust, and tires. The other 4 parts of this set you will get in 1 or 2 weeks from another summit. We get Shefty 10% and we have drag bump 10%. That means that both of these are boosted because the maximum recalibration, if you recalibrate it yourself, is 8%. That is what you have with these boosted summit parts. Now, in this case, I don't know. I don't find it personally that interested. In my opinion, one of these two at least needs to be recalibrated to skilled and skilled 10%, and then you have a good score breaker set. But shifty drag bump, yeah, whatever. Not something that I have on any of my cars, unless I don't have money to recalibrate and it just happens to be on there. But we'll keep it on that one for now. So those 3 parts came in, and then we will have a look exactly when you get the rest of this score breaker set. Let's see. It seems to be next week already. July 10 to the Red Bull Spirit. Here they are. This is the rest of the set. These are the remaining parts that you are missing now. Those 4 with the same. So that's drag bump 10, shifty 10 with a score breaker for the Alpha GP, and that will complete your set, which will also make the score breaker active. So at least you can get double points. But we'll see. Hello, Young Joe. So that covered all the information that we have so far. Maintenance changed the recalibration price and some other stuff, and then of course we collected our summit rewards. So next week we have a Red Bull. Already on the Crew Hub website you can see the kind of events that we are doing next week. I don't know, can you see it here? No, not really. Over here you can't really see. If you go to the Crew Hub website, it will tell you that this one is, I think, Red Rock. The Red Bull is Bayou. The Drift is Terminal D, I think. Alpha GP is Jersey City. And this combo event is Alpha GP on downtown LA East street race. The motocross, it's something called Mount Washington. I haven't checked that exactly, but didn't recall any names to me, so I'm thinking that the motocross truck next week will be a new track. The aerobatics, the escape, and the speed trap, I'm not so sure. Some people know the names of these things, but also on the Crew Hub website you cannot see the names of these things. But I'm assuming they're somewhere in the game files, because some people know it in advance though. Now we have this thing here, July 17th to 24th. As you know, on July 17th, at first they said they were going to do a live stream. Now turns out they're not so sure about that anymore. So apparently they misinformed us a little bit. It might be possible that there is no live stream, that it will just be an article on the website. Will tell us with upcoming summits, maybe give us a sneak peek on some upcoming new vehicles and such. Which brings me to something else. There are some YouTubers out there. I saw some videos from Black Panther, for instance, before E3, He's suggesting all kind of stuff about a certain expansion. I see him repeated in another video a couple of days ago, and there are some chickens watching that, and they take whatever he says for granted, and they take whatever he says as truth. Well, here's some info for you. As far as I know, there are no super plans to bring out whatever expansion here, now, or at Gamescom. I don't even know if they're going to be at Gamescom. So there will be, over time, of course, be some expansion or some DLC, whatever. But whatever he suggests, like that it's going to come out like next week or whatever, I don't think so. No idea where he got the information from, but of course it's a bit of a problem if there are like a few thousand people watching that channel and they take whatever he says for granted and for truth, and then people have all kind of expectations. They show up in the stream on Tuesday and they are like, what, when is the next expansion, when is the next, and then people are like, what expansion? Yeah, the one that Black Panther mentioned. Wrong information, people, wrong information. Polar Rush and Rising Sun is not something we have to worry about, for the simple reason this is like the first and the second summit, and they have put it up here, as far as I know, at least that was the information that they gave us, as a placeholder. So we are not going to redo Polar Rush, we are not going to do Rising Sun, at least not at this moment in time. Maybe later these things come back, or at least the rewards might be coming back. So there might be a shot at one day or another that you can get the Red Fury for those who missed it from another chance from the summit. Also here, as far as I know, these cars will not just show up in the dealer to buy or something. No, you're gonna have to work for it, just like all of us did. Put time and effort in it to try to get that Red Fury. But that will be not... so whatever that July 17th they came up with, they will load new summits into the system, and that also will replace these two here, Polar Rush and Rising Sun, with new summits. So I'm assuming next week or the week after that they will load it into the system, and then that will be changed. But we still have these two, Red Bull Spirit next week, and the week after that Pulse versus Present. Those two are still new summits. After that, these placeholders needs to be replaced with new things. Meanwhile, 17 minutes into the intro, more or less, of this thing, because in the end we're just gonna play the American way. Let's see. We have a slalom, we have aerobatics, we have low altitude, we have a street race with the Dutch. Okay. Now what I don't understand is, I thought in the beginning, like over here it says SR, which is street race. Yeah, it doesn't need to tell us. I thought in the beginning, at least on the website, it puts up the name of the track. We know that this is, for instance, the Harley-Davidson track, which you can only do with a Harley-Davidson normally. But now we can do it with any Dutch. I bought the Viper GTS yesterday for this. The rally rate is no restriction, so we can use, that is Navajo Trail, if I'm not mistaken. So we can use car, bike. We will see what the leaderboard says, what people are using. I'm assuming most people will be doing it with the Porsche. Now, both these Harley races as a Navajo Trail might be a team effort. You might be able to get faster times with a team there. Especially the rally raid scene that is ghosting, you can... Powerboat is the Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. The drift is the Red Bull Challenge North with an American restriction, so you can only use American drift cars. The 4GT hypercar is a new track. It's called Dallas. It's sort of similar like Detroit and Los Angeles, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So pretty long race. Also the Harley-Davidson thing is a long race. And over here we have the Swamp Jet Sprint track, and we have to do it with the hovercraft this time in the combo event, or the super event, as I like to call it. So yeah, as always, let's start. Let's have a look at the slalom. Yosemite, as I call it, but apparently it needs to be pronounced Yosemite or something like that. Okay, whatever. What I bought for this thing here is the Ducati Monster, but we will check the leaderboard in a second to see if that was a good choice or not. You can do this, it is an off-road skill test, but as we know, skill tests are not restricted. So you can do this more or less with whatever it is that you have. So that means rally raid car, rally raid bike. Not advisable to do it with a hypercar with muddy this time, because you have to go through the water. You're probably gonna drown. But also another option might be a monster truck. Something which people not always think about, but I think the bike will still be the fastest. Now, of course, we have all these parts. I have a score breaker set on this thing. Compared to last week's and the previous streams and videos that I did about this Summit Noob, because it's my second driver, obviously. Yeah, we no longer have green and blue and purple parts, we only have yellow parts now. But we are not there yet, because, for instance, this thing has a score breaker. And it has skilled, but it does not have 10%. So we need to get that on 10% as soon as possible, but with 50,000 I don't think we're gonna make that. As we know, the prices went down this morning for recalibration, but still, let's see what we can get out of it. 9.4 is the most annoying of all, because that's what usually the price goes up before you get 10. So this FX doesn't matter that much. As long as we have this skill 10%, we're good to go. So that's one done. Let's see, over here we also have a skilled, which already is 9.4. So that was a pretty good one. Not necessarily means we're immediately gonna get 10. Three recalibrations, can't complain with that. Over here we have another one. Immediately 10. Okay. Nice. That's 3 done. Now, of course, here's where the big trouble comes into play. We have a pure 4.1 of frenetic. We're gonna keep the frenetic and we're gonna change the pure into pretty simple, into skilled. And that is, of course, Bender 8%. That's also not that bad. But yeah. Yeah, and here we go, eh? That's like already 2 times or 3 times that I get Bender. That is still something that they will not be able to explain to me. Because we can change the affix here on the middle option, and we can change the percentage, right? On the top option. So why on earth are we getting the same thing here in the middle 2, 3, 4 times? I know, because of the stupid RNG. That's why I would like to see a tuner shop where you can just buy the parts instead of this trash. Because here we go, eh? Bender. This is like the 3rd time I'm getting Bender with a different percentage, but the percentage doesn't matter, because with the top option we can change the percentage ourselves. If I want Bender, I only need to have it once. I select it, I change the percentage myself with the top option. Don't know why I need to get 3-4 times Bender on this thing. Finally got it skilled. So now we can change it, and now we can go for the percentage, which of course lower. And we're out of bucks. That is how the recalibration thing goes. So we need to do that one over here. Let's see if we are lucky. We have a few $1,000 left. Ventilated. Yo. Of course, also here does not matter what you put on. There's only one thing that counts, and that's skilled. So you have to grind and dig till you have it. So over here the percentage needs to go up. Here we need to have skilled. Also on this one we still need to have skilled. We don't have enough bucks anymore. And also here over here we need to have skilled to get this score breaker going, because how do you get the fame magnet? Just from opening boxes, doing PvP events and so on. It's as simple as that, eh? Okay, let's have a look on this thing. How much do we have now? That's also, but yeah, it does not matter. It is all relative. 44%. 44% skilled. We also have to do is change a few things first. Yeah, this is completely trash at this moment. I'm winning purple parts from this timeline at the moment. Oh yes. We can put some parts here, we can put some parts there, and over here we have to reset the whole thing, because we have been grinding a little bit for money yesterday, and I put everything that I had on rich. Holy moly, moly, moly. I wish there was a button where you could put like fill it up, or at least hold the enter or K button. Okay, that maxes out all the nitro parts. I don't need sensor, I don't need collector. We found another a lot lucky gold finder, popular, and the rest we're gonna put on rich. More money, well, 0.6%, but over here we still need to fill up this one, and here we have extreme mode and graceful that we still need to fill up once we get some more icon points. Let's see what we can do, but yeah, we're not gonna get any of the decent scores, because it's pretty simple. You need to get from here to the finish with 10 seconds on the clock. Okay, we missed the last one. Very nice. But we also did not have enough time. We have 8 seconds on the clock, that's not good enough. You need 10 seconds to get the 2000 time bonus at the end. Oh, nice. Might also need to have some muddy on this thing. That is also an annoying jump. It doesn't steer there. No, that's not advisable. If you want yellow parts, you're gonna have to go for ace mode, my friend. On normal mode, you're mostly gonna get green and blue parts. If you do hardcore mode, you're gonna get mostly blue and purple, and on ace mode, it's purple and yellow. Does not mean that on normal mode you're not gonna get yellow, or on hardcore mode, but not as often. What is with this bump here at the end? Last gate seems to be a problem. Okay, some new difficulties. There is a rock inside. Don't go too close to the rock. Because apparently the rock continues under the water. What I hit with my front wheel. Okay. There seems to be only like one line or something. And if you're a little bit off that line, the bike just doesn't see anymore. Of course we're messing about in water and such, but still. These two are not even apparently you can jump through that one. Went to 650 with 44% skilled on it. 154,000. What are people doing? 26,000. Yeah, okay. We can do that as well once we have maxed out our skills to 75%. Now we have aerobatics and low altitude. Also here, yeah, same story again. Both of them are both aerobatics as low altitude are skill tests which are score based, and that means you need a score breaker set. You need 75% skilled on it. Although it is aerobatic and it is pink family, the freestyle, yeah, it doesn't really help. We are also in pretty bad shape. We have one skilled over here, we have one over here, three. We have three here, let's see. This one is 10%, okay. This over there we were lucky, we could actually found one. Let's see. 8.3, that's already good. One more? Nah, of course not. We get lower. And over here, what do we have here? 9.4, also not that bad. 32.7% we have on this thing. Also, this needs to be maxed out to 75% for both skill tests. The aerobatics, let's have a look. Washington, okay. Sorry, that was a perfect one. What is this? 5 gates? Yeah, if you do this with an air race plane, you have more than 10 seconds, so always gonna have 2,000 points bonus. The best thing we can do at this moment in time is try to get these 5 gates perfect. You need to hear that tidding, tidding, that sound thing. That's 3. That's totally going to be a failure. I saw it happening. We need to get those 5 gates perfect. The rest is whenever we have bugs, do the same with 75% skill, but now we're just setting some scores. Push it again. Okay, the annoying part is that also over here now we have other people flying around here. So all of the skill tests are now have other people in your session. Okay, I think I got it. We need some rudder adjustment there though. What? Okay, so there are like 6. Yeah, and we missed the last one. And then of course, yeah, over here, 2000 bonus every time. So I can probably get like 17,000 or so. If I wouldn't messed up that last one. But I'm assuming people who have maxed out skills, they're just gonna score 19,700. Let's have a look. Top players have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you get the idea. It's pretty simple. You need 19,700 here. That's the maximum score with a maxed out skill on these things. Over here, that might be a bit differently. Let's have a look. 44,000. But this is time based. So yeah, over here you're gonna have a little bit of a different story. We're just gonna keep the plane that we have for the load altitude. Try to keep it as low as possible and try to get that multiplayer as long as you can in red. Whoa, goes left here. And then over there we can get to the water. I think a bit more to the right here is a little gap. We have tested this yesterday, so but also here, yeah, as you can see, I'm scoring 698 points here with the multiplier on 3 or on whatever you have it. If you fly a bit lower, the multiplier will be a bit lower. Also here, skilled needs to be maxed out. If you have the skilled maxed out, I think it is 825 points you score then, instead of 690 whatever. Get that wing lower there so that it actually counts. So yeah, it's a bit based on those I also need to change the wing in distance because I think my plane seems to go automatically a little bit down. $32,000, 153,000. It's not that bad, considering we only have 30% on this plane. So 154, 148, 153. That's not that bad, seeing we have our goal weekly of scoring 100,000 points in each of these events, and then a bonus which gives us 1 million. We have 400,000 almost. No, we have 456,000 after just doing the skill tests. Let's have a look on the rally rates. Let's see what people are doing, what are they using. Porsche 959. I see some Cadillac Escalades here, which is very interesting. Some sort of trick with that car again, or what's going on? Or they just like this car. Kinda doubt it. People don't drive a Cadillac Escalade for fun. So more than likely it will be some sort of trick again. We have a nitro chemist set on this one, I think. We also have a nitro chemist set on the bike. We can pick whatever it is that you want to pick.
3, 2,
Bro, the caddy is cool. Yeah.
1.
Sure, G-Force. Sure. Cool is something we use for fun, but not in summits. If you guys are using that, there's probably some sort of trick with that thing. But also here it will not matter because this is gonna be some team thing by the end of the summit. Know where I'm going, by the way. Is it the right way? Oh yeah, I think it is. What? You gotta be kidding me. Checkpoint missed. Checkpoint missed.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I know. It's when it's bumpy, it was also in the Q1. It's not that bad. We use it in the what was that? In the Dunes track, I think, in PvP. Count now? Yeah. Leaning forward, even in a car, brings it down a bit faster. Yeah. This is why I hate these off-road tracks. These stupid hidden rocks up out of nowhere. Can you go under here? I believe you can. It all counts. Oh no. After a while it decides that I actually missed the checkpoint. That's also something you always have to figure out. Do you get it or don't you get it?
2, 1.
Stay left of this bush because also behind that one is a hidden rock. Know that. It's usually the one that people hit when like you're in PvP or something. that it's so long in the air. I have a feeling that this car has some graceful on it or something. Now where is that stupid throw? It was here somewhere, but no, that one on the right there. Missed it this time. $127,000 points. That will do for now. So we're always almost halfway. What else do we have here? Power vote. I have bought the Frauchner on this driver over the weekend. So we can use that, and I also prepped it so the parts should be that I have are on there. It's not maxed out or anything, but at least we have some nitrochemist set on it.
1.
What is this randomness now? Crash. Okay. Boat physics. Boring as hell.
1.
That's the biggest problem I have with these things. Similar to direct racing, A to B, straight ahead, not too much corners or whatever. Find it boring as hell. Probably also go next to the checkpoint. Oh no. I guess I was not close enough. Because you get them triggered if you're just on the outside of the checkpoint.
3, 2, 1.
So I guess I was not close enough. Yeah, and the AI, why they're even here, I have no idea. They're just a bit annoying in the beginning. Guess I'll stay inside to be sure, but of course we don't have enough refill to keep this thing going. Let's see. Oh yeah, we get it. Just need to be a little bit closer. You'll have a coffee and smoke a cigarette or something like that while you're doing this, because yeah. Pretty sure you can cut here as well. Don't know if it's faster or not. Something we will check. What did they change with the recalibration? I showed it in the beginning of the live stream or in the video. Basically, the price of the spare parts goes up about 3.125 times. The bucks went down 60% from the original price. So the maximum normally was 40,000. Now it's only 16,000. You get less scrap from if you scrap a part. For instance, the yellow was 1200, I think you got from it. 20% less you get from those things as well. So only 1000 for a yellow now. In ace mode, the yellow parts have a 5% more chance of winning them, and 5% less chance on getting a purple. And also the lucky affix has been tweaked a little bit, so that it should work better now for what it was meant to do. That's sort of what. Next to that, of course, whatever they did, this maintenance is also take out these boosted life reward boxes from last week's anniversary week and stuff like that. Okay, 123,000. That's fine. Win some parts from this thing? Yeah, apparently. But yeah, as you can see, have some sort of random parts on it. It is a nitrochemist set, but it's not pure 66 extra pump 75 or something. We're far from there. What else did we have? We did the rally rate. Probably want some parts there as well. Green parts. Yeah, that is also so. I don't know. Also something that have changed. In the beginning, these summit things, they were normal mode, but now apparently it's a combination of normal or hardcore mode, depending a bit on the event. So some of these summit events will give you blue and purple parts. Almost 2 million scrap. Yeah, well, what do you think I have here? I have 4.5 million scrap and I have 48,000 bucks. And those 48,000 bucks is because we just did like 3 summit things. This is sort of what it should have been in the beginning, then people would not gone broke. There are people out there who lost 60, 70, 80, 90 million. Played PvP or whatever for months, they had the maximum bucks, 99 million. Recalibration comes into play and about a month later they're broke. Then I think there is some unbalanced shit going on. What am I looking at? Let's see, that's a long race, that's a long race. So we have a few specials here now. We have a drift and we have the hovercraft, well, which is basically also a drift. So we're gonna change to manual. And have a look on the drift, which is the Red Bull Challenge North part of Central Park in New York. Yeah, we have the focus, or we have this thing that we won from a summit or 2 ago, was a gold medal reward. So yeah, we'll take this one.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice. Really? Really at night in the snow? Or does it take place in free roam and I just unlucky? Oh come on, what is this trash? Don't tell me this car is gonna react differently than it did yesterday on the dry.
3, 2, 1.
Apparently it does. Gonna need a few runs here before the car actually does what you want it to do. Also something of those physics things. Do a few of these runs and then this car suddenly steers sharper. And then you go from here to a rally rate event or so, then that car does not steer at all. Yeah. First need to get some steering to this car. Yeah, but normally the rain, yeah, for sure, rain affects the physics, but snow normally doesn't. Get away from that. Seriously. Yeah, you need a bit. Yeah. Seems you need a bit more boosting out of the corners. How sideways do you need to be before this thing to count? But yeah, they have changed something with these drift cars in general. Because you can actually get more points on do it in second gear slow drifting. Made to make it more easy or what? I don't know. Was messing with these things behind the scenes and why it was okay from the beginning. Some people complain, but yeah, people always complain no matter what. Steer, I mean, like completely locked to the right steering. 129. No. We scored 626,000 here yesterday. Of course, that was in the dry, I think.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, on the rain does, that's for sure, because go to PvP, yeah, you know the difference. Car or bike. something suddenly, as you don't expect it to do. This is an annoying corner. Go like crazy through that corner, and then here you have to slow down because of all the trash on the side of the road. But yeah, it can get worse. You can have it, for instance, in PvP, where some guy in front of you hits a light post, and you hit his trash, and you lose your multiplier. Yeah. Yeah. What? Okay. But why does this car not steer? Steve, there's no point in driving ahead. Once you lost a multiplier with over 400,000 points, you're only gonna get like, I don't know, 10-20,000 more. 153,000, but yeah, also here it does not matter. I think you get maximum score if you score more than 500,000. I'm assuming. If it's still the same, let's have a look. If you bear with us here for a second. Jesus Christ, it's going great again today. There we go. Let's see. Scores are still going up here. Oh no, there are some differences. Score 157,000 no matter what, if you score over 500, but there are some difference at the end, so a few points here and there. Not that it mattered that much, but okay. Yeah, we're gonna have a look on the super event because the other two, that's where we're gonna finish with. The other two are longer. Meanwhile, we're more than okay. Obviously, we have 860,000 with 3 events to go and 100,000 bonus in the waiting room. That's not that bad, eh? The swamp. Interesting. Yeah, this is we're gonna have to figure out the way, I think.
1.
That counts. Okay, that counts. What are you doing, boat? This is basically a shortcut trip to the next checkpoint every time, I guess. Never leave the throttle. Forgot about that in the beginning. some other view here. See where we're going. What is this? Oh. 2 lap thing? Oh, I hate laps. It's rather luck because yeah, it is. We have some work here. Try to figure out the lines. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know what the strange part is? I suggested for one of the upcoming summits to do the Everglades with a hovercraft. That was red flagged, was too difficult, whatever not. And now they do exactly the same. And I opened many boxes with that hovercraft. The same with Payback. He also tried and tried again and again. With the anniversary week, the drifty parts are not in there. So it's like... Although there's also something that was mentioned. There was a maintenance this morning. Maybe they put them in. Maybe we need to do some hovercraft events to test that. To see if the drifty is in. That might be an idea. What do we got here, by the way? 87,000. That is not good enough. Let's load Mr. Bokus and see what he's doing. If that works, probably not. But we'll try it anyway.
Three, two, one.
Nope. Ghost is optional. Selected ghost is not very nice. Once you bump your toes in.
Three,
I know they strike a little bit, but not with a hovercraft, of course.
one.
Different lines. Normally I drive these things like this, but with the speeds there's a bit of a problem. You don't have much visibility. The roof is too low and you have that...
3, 2, 1.
Grass. Blind corner here. Yeah. Once you start bumping, you're toast. I guess the blue line helps a little bit in this situation. Maybe. Where are we? Row 5. $95, not good enough. We want 100,000.
Three,
World record, something spectacular.
1.
We'll have a look in a second. Let's avoid ramps. It's only gonna slow us down. Okay, so that's the first corner. Then we have a double lefter. Over here we go right. Probably jump over that fence straight into the checkpoint. What you think? This is lap number 2. Yes. Oh, why do I pick this thing? Don't like this. As usual, I don't like copying vehicles. The double LAX works as good for me as this thing. And it has a better view as well. Well, at least we made it under 2 minutes with all the bumping. This should be good enough for 100,000 points. Okay, let's see. Who's doing what? 135. Who's the world record? You? Ah. You have Drifty? I see Bokus is like 2 seconds behind you, and he doesn't have Drifty. Yeah, I'm assuming it's you. What is loading today? It doesn't load fast as it is, but okay. So where are we? 973,000, and we at least have potentially 300,000 points. Options. Game settings. Back to automatic. Let's first do the Harley race. What can we use? Dodge only, so I'm assuming it's restricted, in my case, to one vehicle. But I'm assuming you can also use the Challengers and the Chargers and old and new ones. But I'll just pick this thing.
3, 2,
And we're up against the bikes.
1.
I think they have a bit of a problem with their bikes to keep up. I think it limits 330, 340, something like that. Yeah. Gone forever. We'll figure out the hovercraft. Also here I need to check, probably need to put some muddy on here, on this car, to do these cuts there. I saw yesterday we lost quite a bit of speed here with this thing, if you're gonna do some off-road cutting. Streaming here probably with teams. This one doesn't snap. Lose too much speed. I think you need muddy here. Got there before that rock. One corner too much already that I took. We don't have muddy, I'm just gonna stay on the road, I think. Rear end. One rock.
should have tested these tracks a little bit more in the past.
Well, probably. $933, whatever that is. Let's have it. 118,000. And a bunch of green and blue parts, also very interesting. We already crossed the 1 million points and we still have an event to do. So we're in pretty good shape at the moment. Let's first get rid of this. Wonderful green and blue parts. Uh, 40G. The new track of this week, the Dallas Hypercar Race. I think I put the parts on here, but this thing still has default settings. I just bought it yesterday, so that might be some issues. We will see.
2, 1.
We start in Dallas, not 100% sure where it goes. I think to Miami or to New Orleans at least. Assuming they're doing it for visual reasons, but oh yeah, wonderful. Yeah, my way is stupid. Why is there even AI? It's like supposed to be time attacks. Normal AI bothering us occasionally, but other than that, we don't see them. Might as well leave those things out. Since we're sort of going towards the Portugal area and then probably left somewhere and finish in New Orleans, something like that. I think it was something like that. Didn't know if that worked, but just too convenient. Look at all these long straights. Slipstreaming with teams here for sure. Not super yet, but at least we have a few more checkpoints. If you compare it to something like New York, where you have like 20 checkpoints or so in the whole race. This seems to be a little bit better organized already. Pretty sure you will find it fun or something. It's buggy, it's blurry, and it influences the car. Cool for pictures, not for racing. These things don't react half seconds later than when you actually steer. That's why I don't like these faster cars. They don't react faster. Wide highways. No traffic. Oh yes, this is gonna be so much a slipstream track. Where are we going? Finishing on the Key West or something? Get away from that wall. By the looks of it, yeah. For the Dallas, Amarillo, New Orleans, and then to the Key West, where we'll probably finish. Whenever this thing decides to steer, we might actually make it. Okay. Whatever. Well, minutes into it, which is actually good enough for 120,000 points. But this can go way faster once we have figured some other settings than these default that I have on now, I think. 1,340,000 points. And that's good enough for 30th. Which is not even that bad if you consider that we don't have any of the score breakers maxed out. So that's already about 10,000 points there that we can get over those 3 skill tests. Let's have a look. Here we can win 3,000, here we can win 4,000, so that's 7,000, and over here we can probably win almost 10,000, I think. So that's already 17,000. All of these time attacks can go faster for sure. That drift can go higher as well. So yeah, there is room for improvement. But I am going to stop it here. Pretty much. Because that is Nope does summit number 11, and now I need to switch to the other driver and do it all over again. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.